It's so important for us to have connections in our lives, especially now that it's Christmas time, right? Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you had a great Christmas. And I, as usual, have articles that I want to talk to you about. And the first article is from www.Paloma Blanca. And she talks about twin flames. And we are always curious about whether we are with the right person. Are we with the right person? Right meaning the person that can make us happy, the person can make us be the best that we can be, right? A lot of times we don't know whether we are. Are you? Am I? I've done some research, and there's not much research out there. It's like there's hardly any articles. And they say because it's hard to measure. And we know that it's something that's within. You have the unconscious you, right? You have the conscious you. The unconscious you is within the soul, the spirit, right? Something that we really cannot tap into because it's not something we can be aware of physically, but we can tap into our conscious because we're aware of it physically. We have that psyche, that mind, spirit, soul, and we have to interact with people to understand whether we are with our mate or not. So I've got just 3 papers. I could only find 3 papers. And Miss Paloma Blanca, she is in Europe, and she talks about her own personal experience. She's done her own research, and she comes up with some definitions I'm going to show you on the board. Hopefully you can see that very well. Then my next article is on one study I found in the Journal of Spirituality, which is really cool. And here they talk about, you know, some research they did on Facebook with a number of couples and individuals, whether they were in a relationship that was more of a twin flame or a soulmate. And again, I'll give you the definitions. But this one's really the only good article I could find that is more interested in finding out, is it really, really true? Do they exist? Do soulmates and twin flames exist? Okay, because there's a controversy there, right? And I know that some people have experienced it and some people have not. Only you can say. You will know, though, when you do. But the question is it something that is a figment of imagination, or is it something that really, truly is happening to you? That's the question I'm sure you have. But if you do some research, you'll find that, yes, it does happen. Okay. So let us look at Miss Paloma, okay? Okay, so Miss Paloma, that's her website. She has an article that an ebook, sort of like an ebook that she actually produced. And she comes up with some definitions. Karmic partner, okay? So karmic partner, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Karmic partner, someone who enters our life to teach us important lessons and help us grow. So we're just a friend, right? Platonic friend. They may have a strong impact on our life, but the connection is often intense, painful, and challenging. It is not an easy relationship, yet really hard to let go. There can be more than one karmic partner in a lifetime. Okay? And I want you to understand that these are definitions that she gave. And again, you can go to her website if you want to get more information on that. Soulmate. It is an instant connection. right? So we hear soulmate. It is not the same as the twin flame. The twin flame is more spiritual. Soulmates are spiritual, but spiritual jarring, spiritual challenging with regards to the twin flame. It's an instant connection, the soulmate, of spiritual nature, and it feels like the people know each other already. It's like finding a perfect match, someone who understands and connects with us on a deep, deep level. They're like the missing puzzle to our heart. They can be romantic, friends, family. It gives a strong sense of familiarity and connection. Twin flame, someone who shares the same soul with and brings a breathtaking connection. Oh my gosh, explosive. Filled with synchronicities. Synchronicities are things that happen that just you would think it can't happen, but it happens by chance. Let's say you meet them, you go for a trip somewhere and you meet them at a trip and it's like, oh my gosh, how did you know I was going to be here? Things happen that you didn't know that they could come together. Again, according to studies, there is some proof that there is some unconscious connection, right? Where they are able to connect in the current life, world, consciousness, okay? So synchronicity is very important. Everything about ourselves that we have been running from is suddenly in front of us. There is only one twin flame. You can have more than one soulmate, but you can only have one twin flame. The twin flame experience is meant to bring us back into realization of our own true spiritual self, divinity, and potential. So you're supposed to really meet your twin flame to edify yourself, to embody the real you and go on your purpose and fulfill your purpose. But your partner, if it's the twin flame, can instigate that, encourage you, just allow you to elevate to that role. Okay, so the twin flame is more in depth, going into the soul, going into your psyche. And again, Carl Jung, who I love, is also a very, very well-known psychoanalyst that talks about this in detail. So please look him up, do some research if you're more interested in more details. But you have to understand that this is something that's more spiritual. Regular romantic love is there, right? So we know romantic love, we've had it in our lives, but it's not the same as a twin flame or a soulmate, because you're going to have more of a spiritual connection with both, but more intense with the twin flame. So the soulmate is more gentle, more simplified, if you want to say. Then the twin flame is more intense and jarring to the soul. But then we have the regular relationships that are neither soulmates nor twin flames. And that is the question. Who are you with? Are you with a regular person that you can still be very happy with? A soulmate or a twin flame? But you need to know the difference so that you're not taken advantage of, and you know that you also have a role to play, meaning you're going to edify and encourage your partner also. It's a two-way street. Both ways, you're going to help each other get better for the future and along your purpose, okay? Then she has another definition here of past life connections and spiritual friendships. I don't want to go into that, but I do want to go into the one that I had mentioned before, exploring the transpersonal phenomena of spiritual love. This is the only article I could really find, 2021, by Christian Stoke. And he goes and studies a lot of the twin flames themselves based on what he could collect. And he could not collect a lot of information. 140 samples. Let's see if I can make that bigger. It's really, let's see. Maybe that's the easier way to do it. All right. Let's see. So he goes and he uses 140 samples, and he knows about, Plato, how the god said that the spirit or the soul was divided into two, and that's how you have twin flames, and they're searching for each other. That's one of the myths that are going around. But I like his information because he goes also into definitions, okay? So he says that the following 6 themes and 11 sub-themes from research on soulmates that he could connect, right, have certain criteria. Number 1, instant recognition, immediate bonding, and past life connection. So he's talking about soulmates, and I believe he is saying that this is what happens when soulmates meet, okay? An immediate bonding, past life connection. It's like, oh my goodness, I've known you from somewhere before, but you never met, okay? Psychic opening, including synchronicities and telepathy. Now, he doesn't talk about twin flames. He's more focused on soulmates, but the idea is pretty much the same. Again, more in depth with twin flames, and soulmates a little bit less of a mind-boggling or mind-blowing experience. You're not going to be as intertwined as in the twin flames. The soulmates is less. Okay. Telepathy refers to acquiring thoughts or feelings of another person through mind-to-mind transference, right? So telepathy, again, is going into the paranormal, and you'll find that, yes, some of these guys can be far away, not in the same room, not in the same city, not in the same country, and they can actually know what's going on with each other. And this has been proven. And he is actually saying that there is studies showing that, yes, there are people that can do that in relationships. Now we're going in depth again. Twin flames, don't forget. Out-of-body experiences, right? Here he talks about communication with spirit guides. So some people are going into, again, that spirit realm where they're able to feel the other person's emotions and know what they're doing. He has examples of where people actually have gone to save someone's life because they knew something was going to happen, and so they went and were able to save their life. Peak experiences, and this is where they say moments of the happiest moments of my life, ecstasy, rapture, bliss, greatest joy. They experience that on a regular basis. Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini awakening is that life force. Let's see how he defines it. It's a tradition, a yogic tradition to life force energy in the body, associated with libido or sexual erotic energy. Now, that's my favorite topic, and that's really why I wanted to talk about this. The sexual connection here is sexual energy. You're going to get a lot of energy from your soulmate or your twin flame or someone that you bond very deeply with. And again, it's to elevate you and give you the energy and the strength to become a better person, right? Again, if you go to Carl Jung, he'll talk about individuation, he'll talk about the psyche, letting go of the ego, and getting into your dark shadow and making sure that your dark shadow integrates into your life, your consciousness. You want to take it from the unconscious to the conscious, meaning you want to be able to turn to your shadow and say, hey, I'm going to take you out of the closet, out of the box, or out of that shadow, and bring it to light so that you can actually use it to grow and become the better you. They say, Carl Jung says, that people actually become gifted artists and musicians and painters and excel much, much more than they would have if they had left the shadow alone. Remember, the shadow will always be bothering you and come out at funny times and make you do crazy things that you won't understand unless you actually address it. Now, the shadow is where you put things that happened to you as a child and as an adult and as a growing person in your lifetime. You go through things and then you just hide things in the shadow, okay? Some people call it the dark shadow. I know Robert Greene calls it the dark shadow, but I know that the little understanding that I have, it's where you really are ashamed of certain things and you put it away and you don't want to face it. So the question is, how do you get it out? And it's going into your childhood and making sure that you are actually addressing childhood traumas and hurts and unresolved issues that you probably had with your mother, your father, your family. But you now as an adult have to be able to face them, because if you leave them and you ignore them, you cannot grow, you cannot be the best that you can be in life and elevate again to the next level of what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. And again, the sexual energy, the Kundalini awakening, is what actually starts the whole process. So if you have a partner and the sexual interaction is phenomenal, some people have transcendental sexual experiences where they're out of body and they're just above the relationship that's happening, the sexual relationship that's happening. You don't even realize that you are somewhere else. I can go into more detail, but I really don't want to do that because it's another topic. But Kundalini awakening is that life force in the body associated with your sexual erotic energy. So remember, this is supposed to be, again, according to Carl Jung, he was back in the 1820s, 19th century, he was studying this, and he had actually his own 2 experiences where he actually does talk about his own transcendental experience. So you know that he is giving you not only his own personal experience when you go to search for him, but experience that he had with patients that he did treat sexually for certain psychological issues. But here, the libido or sexual erotic energy is the Kundalini awakening. It refers to energetic activation, often by transmission from individuals with active Kundalini. Experiences include tingling. So you're going to get tingling, right? Sexually. Waves of energy in the body. Magnetic and electric sensations. Waves of intense emotions. These are things that happen when you're with someone that is jarring your spirit, making you shiver, making you shake, because they're about to awaken you and have you see your unconscious and certain things that were happening to you as a child because they were not being addressed before, because they weren't activated according to, again, Carl Jung, and a lot of the Hindu and Buddhist religions, they do believe in this also. But I'm not going to put a religious slant on this because I want to focus on you in everyday life, wondering whether you do have any of these experiences, because you want to be able to know how to use it, which is again to elevate yourself. The bottom line is you come together for your betterment, for your improvement, for your growth, for your elevation to be with the better force or the greater force, right? Which could be religious and might not be religious. It might be work, it might be music, it might again be some creativity that you're involved in, that you know is passion, because the passionate feelings you get from this will now even be more when you awaken it, okay? He goes on, dark nights of the soul. Dark nights of the soul. Describe periods of negativity after awakening. So they say you go through that negative time where you start having issues. Things just start to, make you scared. And it's really important to go through because it brings to the surface emotional trauma stored in the body and removes stress and blockages from the nervous system. You've got to bring it out, according to this study. Greenwell found that people experience emotional roller coasters of bliss and pain, including difficult relationship experiences that trigger past trauma or karmic patterns. Okay? So if you run away from it, which I've understood, and I do have patients that run away from this, okay, you will never be able to be the better you. I'm going to say it one more time. If you don't face your inner demons, you will not be able to be the best that you can be in life and enjoy your life. Because if you don't enjoy your life, you're going to actually miss out on relationships that could have just been phenomenal and just the most beautiful experience in your whole life, right? So we all have relationships, but the question is, how beautiful are they? Some people are in miserable relationships and you don't want to be in that. But look at the reason why you're there. You're supposed to realize you learn something from that, and then you decide what you're going to do. But you are learning as you are in these relationships. All right, so he goes on psychological transformation and renewal. That's basically what you want, transformation, becoming, again, this better person. And then that's growth and learning and psychological renewal and merging of opposite archetypes. I'm not going to go into that. Just know that the male and the female in you, that we all have male and female sides of us, they become one, and you understand how to love both at the same time so that you can be, again, that better person that you're supposed to be. Okay? All right. So that was him. I've got one more article. I know I love articles. And then I'm going to let you go. This is... All right. This is from Allure. What is a twin flame and how is it different from a soulmate? So if you go to type that in under Allure, you'll see her article, their article. And they talk about a twin flame isn't necessarily a romantic soulmate. So they're a little bit more, I'm going to say scientific about this, because they say that they are not agreeing to be comfortable with the twin flame. And that's because the twin flame can sometimes take advantage of you, especially if they're a narcissist. So you've got to be very careful that you don't let them bamboozle you, right? Or deceive you. You've got to stand up for your rights. You don't take crap, okay? But again, that experience is, again, beyond what you'd ever want or can ever imagine. So you want to sort of give it a chance, but at the same time, know that if you are in danger, you get out of it, because you're not supposed to be in any danger. And some people, I understand, have got into certain predicaments, which we don't want here, okay? So you have to be careful that, you know, the twin flame is not necessarily romantic, but someone that comes into your life to, again, improve you, and then you move on and you do not actually stay with them. That's what the article says. Sometimes it happens, but very rarely, very, very rarely. So they're there really to, again, edify you, make you better, and it's, you know, both ways. They go on to say, contrary to popular beliefs, the concept of twin flames is not the same as a soulmate. Your twin flame doesn't even have to be someone you fall in love with. Mostly it is, but you don't have to be in love. This kind of high-level soul-based connection isn't about romance. It's about spiritual growth, which we've already said, okay? So my real connection would be for you to read this and understand that you don't have to be with a soulmate, but that when you are, that sexual experience is really the life force that we all need to experience, whether we're in a regular, romantic relationship, a soulmate relationship, or a twin flame. That sexual experience is important for you to awaken your inner soul, your inner spirit, your inner life. Even if it means going into religious aspects of it, that is going to be your destiny if it's meant to be. You need to know what your purpose is, and whatever it is, you go into it, right? So if you are in the twin flame, it's going to be more, again, in depth, going to the psyche, trying to make you whole, trying to make you a better person all the time, and you move on from that. Oops. You move on from that, and you really find that sometimes, like, you know, the article says, you do not marry. And when you break up, it can be very intense. The intense breakup is because of what bonding you had, and sometimes you are not able to forget it. Most of the time they say you will never forget it, and that they say you need a therapist sometimes to work through it if you do break up. Okay, so let's see what else they talk about. That's basically it. Okay, so like I wanted to emphasize the most important information from this is that you need to know, are you in a regular relationship or not? And when you are in a regular relationship, you still want to have the sexual interaction where you know that you are being treated properly and with care and with love. And based on how you're treated, you can actually know whether you're in a good, healthy relationship or not. And I think that's what matters the most. And being able to turn yourself into a better person because of that beautiful interaction. And I think that is what we all would love to have. Now, you know, as a primary care doctor, as a family practice doctor, I want for you to be able to have a great sexual function. Always get that physical. Come see someone like me that can actually treat sexual issues if you have any. And of course, if you do, which happens over time, we can fix it. Just remember that and know that this is truly, I believe, an energy, sexual energy, that we all need to tap into in order to enjoy not only ourselves, but the relationship so that we can grow and be better individuals all around. Imagine if the whole world could do this, right? Wouldn't it be a greater place to be in? Okay, guys, good to see you. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.